Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Talk with the Titans live from London, UK, all the way to the US of 8 and worldwide. I'm your host, Kalam, and this is Talk with the Titans. Oh, man. You see it, though, family. You see it, though. You know what? There's so many haters around. I love you, haters. I love you, haters, so much because you know why? Without you guys here, we would not persevere here to get better and better every single time. That's what I'm saying to you. So if you've been watching, there was a previous show that was on. We're talking about Yahweh. Is Yahweh the Kemetic sun god? Ra, for example, and how does it tie in and all those things there. But unfortunately, we got hacked. Okay, we got hacked. So you know what I would love for you guys to do is please hit the like button and share this show as much as possible so we can get back the numbers that was already previously watching the show. All right. As you can quite clearly see, we cannot actually do these type of crowd participations as we normally do. This is the second time around that somebody has actually tried to hack the show, tried to do all types of madness, tried to put porn on, tried to basically their intent is to shut us down. And it's cool. It's all good, baby. It's all good. It's all good. We ain't gonna let no. You know what? They got a song that goes, "You can't stop a good man." No, there's no way. You cannot stop it. All right. We're always gonna continue. We're always gonna persevere, and we're gonna say, "Bun you guys, bun you guys." We're gonna do what we're gonna do. All right. Okay. So, anyways, let's get it flowing, baby. Let's get it flowing. Let me just get my brother involved with this particular show. So. All right. Let me just quickly do a nice little intro of what we are going to be discussing again today. Apologies, family. We're going to have a few people that's joining us in the future, family. If you would love to actually join us on here on Talk with the Titans, what I would need you guys to do is to what you need to do is this. Basically, you need to actually add me on Google Plus or on Hangouts, whichever way. Google Plus, Hangouts should be the same thing. Add me on there, send me a message, and anytime a show is actually live, I will send you the link individually and personally. So that means, yeah, anytime from now onwards, please do not complain that their link is not being shared with inside of the comment section or elsewhere. Quite clearly, because these types of things actually take place. People want to come in and hack you and cause us to be shut down, but we're not gonna allow it. No. We're not going to allow it. All right. So, yeah, this is what we're going to do. So if you guys are trusted, and I know you are trusted, just holler at me and we can get it going. All right, baby. We can get it popping. So, back to it. We're going to go back to it itself. So, yeah, also, yeah, you're quite right. Hit the notification bell. Hit the notification bell. Some of you guys saying that the notification is not coming up, but just hit the notification bell and you should be able to see what we're doing. Sure, you don't need reminding not to let them hang out, go public, order strike. Trust me, I know. I already know. This is how it is. Liam said, I love to join the panel, but the topics are too deep for me. My knowledge is poor. That's why I watch you, Kalam, to widen my knowledge. Oh man, that's beautiful. That's love right there. So, anyways, as we said, yeah, we don't care, man. We don't care about the trolls right about now, because you know what? The principle of love, okay, will always defeat the principle of hate. That's why it is a divine principle. All right. While your principle is a principle that we do not divinize. We how do we say? We want to crush, we want to defeat, we want to spit, we want to yell, we want to burn and incinerate. We want to, if I wish I had a lighter right now, we want to put lighter, we want to bonfire upon them things there. Babylon. So yeah, so we don't care about them things there. We're gonna continue and let the show run. All right. So, anyways, back to it. So this year we're talking about we're going to be delving heavily into the African philosophy, African spirituality. We're going to be talking more about Africa, full stop. We're going to be talking about Kemet. And Kemet is just Kemet is one particular empire or region within inside of ancient Africa, or inside of Africa itself. It's one particular element. We utilize it today, Kemet, as in the word Kem literally means black or dark skinned or dark in appearance. We utilize that in reference to the rest of the continent and anywhere that black or dark skin or melanated people actually reside who hold a African orientated philosophy. Okay, this is what we refer to as Kemet. So we're going to be jumping into a lot of African / Kemetic philosophies throughout the next coming months. Okay, we're definitely going to be jumping into the Ifa system. We're definitely going to be jumping into systems that's originated in Mali, like the Dogon system. We're definitely going to be jumping into the Bakongo system. We're definitely going to be jumping into some East African systems as well. We're going to make sure we represent the fullness of what Africa actually has to offer in its original state, rather than its colonized state of actually viewing the world and thinking. Okay, so we're going to discuss that soon. And of course, this coming up year, we're going to be touching on real topics, real issues that affected us. We're going to be discussing economics and finance, ways of how we can make money and all them things there. Because really and truly, If we don't have the money, then what do we have? If we don't have, and I shouldn't say money, technically speaking, because you can be rich or wealthy without money. So we need to be thinking about we need to be thinking how to become wealthy as individuals. I'm talking about wealthy in spirit, wealthy in mind, and of course, wealthy in resources as well. What do we have at our disposal that we can control? Okay, and we own it as well. So we're going to be just discussing all these real topics. Of course, we're going to be jumping into some spirituality this year as well. Yeah, we're going to be jumping into some real spirituality. I already dusted off my dust. I've got the cobwebs off, got the dust off my meditation mat. So you already know what time it's going to be. It's going to be some real powerful things where we're going to be jumping into a lot of spiritual systems and just seeing, me personally, I like pulling from different spiritual systems. Okay. Because where one actually likes the other one, kind of gives me the upper hand on. So we're going to be touching on different spiritual systems this year. We're going to be talking about, of course, I said economics, spirituality. We're going to be discussing education, of course, philosophy, education. We're going to be discussing things to do with what's that thing called as well? Relationships, babe. We're going to be discussing relationships and how do we plan for long, fruitful relationships and things of that nature. Hopefully, a lot of women will be involved in getting. I know you women like that stuff. I know you don't like that stuff. So we're going to be discussing all of that good stuff in the upcoming weeks, months to come. All right, African centered, baby, African centered. So tonight, just to kind of get you guys on that flow, but I fully understand and realize that we still are, although we are on the high level of consciousness, we do have a lot of our religious, we still got our religious side that we've got to cater for, right? We've got a religious side that we got to cater for, that unfortunately it seems as though our elders or the people that were put in place in authority who were meant to be our teachers, they never fully raised us up to a level of real enlightenment and understanding. So hopefully today I want to give a little bit, I'm going to try to push you guys up. Push you guys up. I'm not saying that I'm up. I'm just saying I'm trying to push you up a little bit so you can start thinking a little bit more deeply and actually doing your own research and trying to find out a bit more information, especially if you're coming from the Abrahamic faiths. But we're going to be looking from a Kemetic or African lens tonight. All right. So let's get it started, baby. Let's get it started. All right. Let me just quickly make sure I go to my comment section. What's good, family? What's good? So Indian Singh in the building, Miyazu Shifter in the building, Jedi Online is in the building, Global Media Inc. has donated, baby. So again, yeah, family, if you lot want to donate, baby, man. Hit the super chat button down below. Yeah, hit the super chat button. Let me just quickly show you what you lot can do. Yeah, because the support is definitely needed up in here. So what you can do is literally hit the super chat button right here and you can donate. Okay. Man, like Jedi says, I'm just here for the porn. Oh man, you see, some people are so funny. Yeah, some people are so funny. I'm talking about not Jedi. I'm talking about Jedi is funny. I'm talking about the hackers that want to come in and disrupt stuff. Y'all funny, baby. Y'all funny. So yeah, ex-Muslim and proud. What's good, family? I see you. Yo, you want to discuss Jesus' divinity? Maybe another time. Another time, I'll give you the opportunity to come onto the platform to actually discuss Jesus' divinity itself, okay? But I will not be discussing Jesus' divinity. What's good, Harry Singh? Ultra Funky as well has donated. As you see, man, show the love, show the love. Knowledge is key. So let's get it, family. Let's get it back into the real mix of things, and let's get it in. All right. So, again, we was talking about Ra. Okay, we're talking about Ra. We're talking about the deity that is known as Ra. Earlier on, I broke down what we conceptualize as God or deity or divinity itself. Okay, we have a principle called nature, and I'm going to break down nature as literally meaning. No, I'm not going to say it literally means. I'm going to say we have an understanding of it being divine principle, a divine principle. And we broke down earlier on what was a principle. Principle literally means prince, which is principe, which means first, okay? The first thing that every other thing kind of flows or trickles down from. So we look at principles such as the principle of creation, okay? Creation as a principle worthy of us actually divinizing, okay? Divinizing. So most people, most times it's either we are actually divinizing something or the divine is giving it to us. From a Kemetic standpoint, we I hope we do. We understand that we divinize these principles. These principles have always existed within, in and around us. So let's not say that, we originated these principles or we were the creators of gods. No, we acknowledge that these divine principles are something that we want to hold as sacred and holy, that we want to imitate. Therefore, they become divine to us. So, for example, I made this earlier on. We talked about hate. Hate is a principle as well. We do not call it or consider it or classify it as being something that is positive towards us or holy towards us or sacred towards us or divine towards us. We hold that as a principle that is rejected, that we do not want to actually become that. We actually averse to that particular principle, because we know that the hate principle brings in anger, brings in lack, brings in poverty, brings in distrust, brings in trolls onto our platforms that want to actually try to shut us down. Earlier on, we talked about the hateful comments. Now we see that they want to hack our stuff and to put in lewd and obscene materials upon our channels in order to cause a strike, in order to cause us to be striked off of the YouTube system. So we do not deal with the principle of hate. That's not a principle that is divine to us. So it's not a nature, it's not a divine principle. So hopefully, my atheist brothers and sisters, y'all should be able to kind of see where we're going with this. Okay, so we're dealing with the divine principles, and the divine principle that we're talking about today is the highest divine principle that we actually associate ourselves with, which is Ra. Okay, Ra, Re, or Ra'u. Okay, that is the divine principle known as, tell me what? The creator, baby. It's the creator. So that's the active and active creative principle that we deal with, that every other thing originates from, in our perspective. And what I mean by that is, in order for something to be, to be, literally, that's what Ra, another meaning of Ra is to be, is the capacity and power to actually do work. Literally, in its stagnant state, it's the potential. It's only when it's actualized that it becomes the creator manifest. But let's go back into this now. So that's the principle that we're going to be discussing today, that everybody should be able to relate with. Okay, everybody should be able to relate with, because within inside of ourselves, we have that principle within inside of us. We do not need to look outside of ourselves to find divinity or the creator. The creator is literally within inside of us. We have the ability, to create. We have that attribute, or we possess the ability, the capacity to create. And that principle inside of us, we like to divinize, especially for us, some of us who are what we consider to be entrepreneurs or inventors. That's what we love. I love tapping into that particular element of myself. I'm a Leo, by the way, just putting it out there. As a Leo, that is one of our major words, being a creator. We want to create things. We want to bring things in from old into new. Okay, we want to be innovators. We want to be doing things anew. So that principle we hold on to, we divinize, we praise it. We want to tap into what it is. Let's tap into the power of being a creator. Okay, so that's one aspect, divinization of the principle internally. Then we have the second divinization of the principle of creator. And we see that creative principle within inside of us, within nature itself. We could just look at the animals and the trees and so forth, all of them sharing that principality of being a creator. But the most high creator on this physical plane to us, that affects us and influence our lives, is the sun. The sun is another divine entity that we actually divinize as well. And we acknowledge, just as our minds, our soul, our consciousness has the ability to create and bring in new life and sustain that life as well, the sun is one of the first creators on terms of the universal plane. Let me try to alter that a little bit. In terms of our ecosystem, that there creates new life, that there brings in a new day, that there actually sustains the whole entire solar system itself. So that there we divinize that principle itself. But we acknowledge something that is even higher to all of that. In ancient Egypt, actually, ancient Kemet, we had something that says this, that there are three gods, okay, or three natures, three divine principles, and they are one. The three divine principles are Ptah, Ra, and Amun. Okay, and we just made mention of Ptah. That principle of Ptah is the physical human body. Okay, but we have the Ra principle inside of us. Then we have Ra, which is the sun, which is the celestial principle, and that is there. But in the highest of all of those things, which are a trinity in itself, meaning that they cannot exist unless they are united, is the Amun principle. The Amun principle, literally, Amun literally means to be hidden, is the principle that we cannot see with our eyes. Okay, so for us, God is not actually seen in that respect. Okay, because it's a principle. Yet again, it's it's a principle. Yeah, it's a principle. It's an unseen, untangible principle, and that is what we hold on to as being the most high, that Amun principle, that hidden principle itself, that gives rise or has different manifestations inside of us as our souls, who has the ability to actually create, and in terms of our celestial environment, which is the sun, that gives us the potential to create things as well. So the three things in one. But anyways, I don't want to digress and go off too much. Hopefully, testing, is it working? Yeah, it's working. So hopefully I've given you enough to actually kind of half understand exactly what we mean by a divine principle and how we relate it in terms of our own personal selves, in terms of our celestial or environment itself, and in terms of our philosophical understanding of what the first principle actually is. Now, in that being said, and hopefully I've laid the groundwork. If I haven't laid the groundwork enough and thoroughly and you don't understand it, ask a question right now. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. No chance to ask any questions. Continuing onwards. I see Phil there with his book in his hand, like licking his lips, like, brother, I want to yam this one up right now. But you know what? I need to get my fitted a little bit lower. Yeah. Anyways, my brother. So, anyways, let me continue. So, and I want to actually relate that principle, that divine principle of Ra, as actually being another. And I see the divine principle of Ra activated and actually alive within inside of the Kemetic, within inside of the Hebrew school of thought. I see that as the Yahweh principle. And why do I say I see that as the Yahweh principle? Because when I look at the material culture of the Hebrews or the Judeans or the Israelites, yeah, when I look at the material culture, I'm talking about archaeology, things that we can actually find, like coins, like bullers, like seals, like sculptures and things of that nature. I see it as being very much so Egyptian or Egyptianized or Egyptian influenced. Okay, that's what I see it as being. So, and that being said, I was actually I drawed you guys to your attention earlier on to this. Okay, to this. Let me just do this. Share my screen. So in Kemet, we got the principle of Ra. Let me just do this again. So Ra here. Okay, we got the principle of Ra, which is the symbol of the sun. We're not saying that God is the sun, as I've just made mention before to you. Okay, that divine is not the sun itself, but that is one of its manifestations. Just like the our souls is not the deity itself, but it's one of its manifestations. But the hidden principle of Ra, the creator, okay, is unseen. It's a principle. Okay, it's an unseen principle which manifests and is let to be known as the sun and as our soul, etc., etc. Okay, but this divine principle is right here. Okay, and its symbol is something that is not actual. The actual thing is actually hiding, or it's pointing you towards something else. Okay, that is not explicit in what it's saying. Okay, so for example, you might have a red sign, okay, and it might say stop. It might say stop. Okay, the sign literally says stop, but it's not the actual act of stopping. Okay, you, the person, or something else is the actual act of stopping. But we can, via utilizing signs or ayats or awut or tayya, depending on the three language I'm speaking, Hebrew, Arabic, and Kemetic right there. You can gauge what is the meaning. By looking at symbols, you can gauge what it actually means itself. So, in that being said, I actually brought you guys earlier on over to the solar wing disk. Okay, in Kemet, we have something right here called the solar wing disk. Right here, you see the wing, you see the sun, and you even see the Uraeus. Two Uraeuses wearing the red and white crown. Uraeus literally is from the Greek word, but coming from the Kemetic word eret, which literally means to be raised up. Okay, and you see these two snakes. All right, right here as well. All right, and this is Kemet. This is Kemet, baby. This is what Kemet has. This is Freemasonry. This is Freemasonry. You can see how all these systems really love what we have. It seems as though this is a cross as well. I don't know. This looks like a cross, and we seem as though that even churches adopt our symbols as well. But who else actually adopts our symbols? Who else actually adopts our symbols? I brought you earlier on to the symbol of Hezekiah. This is the seal of Hezekiah right here, and we can see the same symbology going on. We can see the solar wing disc, okay, the solar disc with the wings attached to it, okay, and this is literally the seal of Hezekiah. It literally says to or belonging Lee Hezekiah, okay. For some of my Hebrew brothers, they be able to read this, okay. It says to basically the seal of Hezekiah right there, okay. We see the Ankh going on there. Let me just quickly do this. All right, and earlier on, I brought you to this right here. It says belonging to Hezekiah, son of Ahaz. Actually, it doesn't say son there, but it says Ahaz, king of Judah. Okay, Ahaz, king of Judah. Of course, Ahaz was Hezekiah's father, and you can literally go onto the. Can I go? Can I click it? Yeah, let's click it. Let's click it. So you can literally go to the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. All right. I love showing you sources itself. Okay. Citations and sources is very key. When everybody shows you anything, always try to go to the source itself so you can find it yourself and do your own research. And on here, as it quite clearly tells you, it's a two-winged sun, two-winged sun with wings turned downwards, flanked by two Ankh symbols, okay, symbolizing life. So them themselves, yeah, the Hebrew university who done the excavation and so forth, yeah, are telling you what this is right now. It's telling you that they've got two Egyptian symbols, yeah, representing life. Ankh represents life, yeah. I know a lot of you are saying, oh, why do you not wear the Ankh? Why do you not wear the eye? Why do you not do this and so forth? But but why don't you ask the same question to your forebears? Why don't you ask the same question to your forebears? Why did they do this? Why did they? Why did they? That's a good question. Why did they do it? So on here, I do actually say, please go and read this. Okay, go and read this. If you just type in Hebrew University and go and do some reading, and you see that a lot of the times, okay, these cultures, such as the Hebrews, actually were very much so Egyptian orientated. Okay, very much so Egyptian orientated. Very much so. Very much so. Why do I say this? Because we can even go right now into Malachi 4:2. I'm one of my favorites. Malachi 4:2 literally lets you know, that they were very much so Egyptian orientated, or they viewed their Yahweh, their God, as being a son. Again, I'm not saying that literally they're the son. I'm actually going to read something out to you later on. But it says here, but unto you that fear my name, shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stone. Okay, as you can see, yeah, the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in the wings. Look at that. Look at that. You might as well just say this is the Son of Righteousness with healing in its wings. Yeah, you can clearly see this. And guess where you can clearly see it? You can clearly see it as well right here in Hezekiah's seal. All right. Very much so Egyptian orientated. So when I tell you that Yahweh is actually a solar deity, okay, a solar deity, I don't mean that he is literally the sun. I'm saying that its symbology is that of the sun. Okay, that of the sun. We can go into a few other things I really wanted to show you guys as well, if we do have some time, that we see a lot of the symbology, yeah, of the Hebrews. Hold on one second. Seem to hear some feedback going on. Might just be me. We can see that a lot of the symbology of the Hebrews here were very much so Kemetic related. As you can see here again, you can see the solar sun disk, okay, with the two Uraeus, the two snakes. Yeah, I love these symbols right here. We call these snakes the seraph or the seraphim, okay, the seraphim. For those of you who know about the two degrees of angels, you have the seraphim and the cherubim. That's another story. For those of you that know what a cherub is, or those which is near to the heart, which is the mother, which is the vulture, you'll know what it's talking about when you see on most pharaohs' heads, the Uraeus, the snake, and you also see the vulture, okay? The seraphim and the cherubim. And on top of its head, you see the plumes. These are usually the plumes of Amun, to be honest with you. Again, you can see, again, the same seraph symbol with an ankh right there. Okay, you could even see the Khepra beetle. Okay, these are all this right here. You can find this on page 275 of Gods, Goddesses, and Images of Gods by Omar Keel and Christoph Uhelega. Okay, you can find all of this right here. This is what the Hebrews or the Judeans, okay, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom used to participate in. Yeah, as you can see here, you got the Khepera beetle, Khepera, Ra, right here. These are solar symbology that's actually taking place in front of your face. Now, what's funny about this is earlier on, I don't know if it's actually cut off. We gave a definition, yeah, when we said that we like to utilize a methodology, and we gave a definition here of religion. Religion is a set of symbolic thought forms and acts that relate human beings to the ultimate condition of existence perceived as the holy. Remember, I told you what the divine is, or what we consider to be holy, or a nature is. But and he continues to say the study of history of religions ought to aim to reconstruct. So if we're actually going back into the history of the religions of these Hebrews or these Israelites, we should be able to reconstruct the religion on the basis of its extant remains, i.e. the beliefs through text. Okay, so we've just shown you, i.e. via the text, we've just shown you that they themselves perceive that their Yahweh, their nature, their deity, yeah, as being a solar deity. Okay, and then we can also go through the look through the material culture. And again, we've just looked through the material culture of this particular system of the Israelites and the Judeans, and we can see that a lot of it, okay, was very much so solar related. Khepra, okay, is a solar beetle with wings yet again. We can see, and it's very much so Egyptian orientated as well. We can see, look at this. Someone look over here. Someone look over here. Can you see this? Some of my Kemetics can be able to read this. Let's see. Do I have any Kemetics or any students on here? Nah, maybe not. Okay, but some of us, we'll be able to read this. We can see that there's an Ankh yet again. We can see that there's a symbol of the Nesut or the Sud symbol right here. We can see that there is a lion with wings with a falcon on his face right here, with the both the red and the red crown and the white crown. These are very much so Egyptian orientated. And of course, my paleo paleo Hebrew, my readers, my Hebrew Israelites that can read it, paleo Hebrew, can actually read this and see that there is a nice merging of the cultures going on right here. All right, a nice merging of the cultures. So just to let you know that the ancient Hebrews were very much so solar related individuals. Solar related individuals. You know what? Let me do one better than all of that. Let me do one better. And if you don't have the ability, I don't know if Phil or anybody else has the ability to do this, yeah, pull up a PDF copy. Because you know what? I got books. I deal with a lot of books. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to actually pull up a copy of this for you guys. But I will do it. I'll just try to read it for you. So you can see that even a lot of the stuff that I've just shown you there, we're talking about Hezekiah. So we're talking roughly around the 8th century, 8th to 7th century BCE. Okay, this is what they was pushing forward. A lot of the other seals were coming from the 9th century to the 6th century BCE as well. Okay, so we're talking about the ancient Hebrews dealt with a lot of the Kemetic / solar symbology and motifs, okay, to represent their deity, to represent kingship and things of that nature. Okay, now I want to go quickly to Philo. Philo is actually an Egyptian Jew, okay, or Hellenized Jew living in Alexandria, Egypt. And it's very amazing to see how both the biblical text, i.e. the biblical text that we've just read out earlier on, Malachi 4:2. I could go to a few other places, where Yahweh is the sun and a shield to the people, and other places as well. You can see that they were really much so solar orientated individuals. Yeah. Chesu, my brother, man. My brother. Allow me. Give me a second, family. Give me a second. All right. Let me quickly go to it right now. So as we can, so I'm just going to quickly go. Yeah. For those of you who have the ability to pull up, Philo's On Dreams Book 1. I repeat, Philo's On Dreams Book 1. Philo's On Dreams Book 1. All right. And I'm reading from 72. Roman numerals 13, XII, and number 72. And he subsequently alleges a reason why he met the place. For he says the sun was set not meaning the sun which appears to us, but the most brilliant and radiant light of the invisible and almighty God. When this light shines upon the mind, the inferior beams of words, that is, of the angels, said, and much more, or are all the places perceptible by the external senses are overshadowed. But when he departs in a different direction, then they all rise and shine. And do not wonder if, according to the rules of allegorical description, the Son is likened to the Father and governor of the universe. Let me just repeat: the Son is likened to the Father and governor of the universe. For in reality, nothing is like unto God. But those things which, by the vain opinion of men, are thought to be so, are only two things: one invisible and the other visible. The soul being the invisible thing, and the Son, the visible one. Okay. Now he has made the similitude of the soul in another passage where he says, God made man in the image of God, created he him. And again, in the law enacted against homicides, he says, whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed in requital for the blood, because in the image of God did I make him. But the likeness of the Son he only indicates by symbols. All right. So again, just to quickly go back into this, we can see that from Philo's time, okay, a Jew writing in the turn of the 1st century, viewed God as being a solar deity, okay, viewed him as being a solar deity, okay. Let me just quickly go again. Same on Dreams, book 1, number 90. It says here, for he not only desires the wicked deeds which are hidden, manifest, and therefore turns up on them the beams of the sun, but he also by this symbolical language calls the Father of the universe the Son, by being whom all things are seen beforehand, and even all those things which are invisibly concealed in the recesses of the mind, when they are made manifest. So again, we're looking at what Philo is saying. We're looking at what the 1st century Jews are saying. We're looking at what the Bible is saying from the 4th century, actually, the 5th century, where Malachi was actually reading. We can go to places in Isaiah, which is in turn of the 7th or the 8th century. We can go again into the seal of Hezekiah, 8th century. We can go further back into the 9th century, or these other bullahs and seals and so forth. And we can see that the ancient Hebrews, quite rightly looked at their Yahweh deity as being a solar deity. Okay, its symbol is being the sun. Okay, its symbol being the sun. They're not saying that Yahweh is the sun. Again, let's not try to. I want to make sure that we don't get that twisted. Okay, I want to make sure we don't get that twisted. Let me just use what's his name's words itself. Okay. And do not wonder if, according to the rules of allegorical description, the Son is likened to the Father and the governor of the universe. For in reality, nothing is like unto God. Okay. Nothing's like unto God. I know the Muslims have very much so the similar saying that there is nothing unto God. There's nothing like God. Okay. There's nothing like God. Okay, Lamshay, I can't remember the saying exactly, but there's nothing like unto God. If we go into the Hermetica as well, I just want to make sure we get this into your minds that we're utilizing symbols. Okay, we're not literally saying that that Ra, the deity, is the sun. We're not saying that. Okay, we're saying that is the symbol for the deity. Again, I want to go through Hermetica, and it's called a discourse of Hermes to attack the mixing bowl or the monad. Okay, so it's got several names: the mixing bowl or the monad. Okay, and this is chapter 4. Okay, it says, since the craftsman made the whole cosmos by reasoned speech, not by hand, you should conceive of him at present as always existing, as having made all things, as the one and only, and as having crafted by his own will the things that are. For this is his body, neither tangible, nor visible, nor measurable, nor dimensional, nor like any other body. It is not fire, nor water, nor air, nor spirit, yet all things come from it, because he is good. All right. So just wanted to put that out there real quickly, that we understand that Islam has the same saying that there is nothing like unto God. We understand that the Jews have a same saying that there's nothing like unto God. We also understand that the Kemetics had a saying that there's nothing like, or there's nobody like unto God as well, or unto the divine as well. Okay. We're always looking at it from a philosophical point of view. These principles exist in the intellectual realm rather than the sensible realm, but they are felt and observed in that sense in the sensible realm, as i.e. the sun, or i.e. as you, your soul, your mind, your consciousness that has the ability to enact, the ability to create and things of that nature. I've been talking far too long. I need to grab some water. So if anybody would like to speak and chime in, ask any questions or make any observations, please do.
You already know. I just want to read something because you asked me a question about their gods, but I'm gonna go back prior to them.
Oh yeah, continue.
You can't hear me?
No, I can hear you now. I can hear you now. Sorry. Continue.
Okay. Now, as I was saying, I'm gonna read an excerpt from the book, right? The Old Testament in Archaeology and History, right? This is empirical data, people. I'm gonna show you the bronze statue of El. This is the Canaanite god El. The bronze statue. All right. That was one of the Canaanite gods. So I'm gonna read an excerpt. It says, there are some 160 references to Canaan or the Canaanites in the Hebrew Bible, primarily in the Pentateuch, right? So modern knowledge of Canaanite religion and deities was extremely limited until 1929, when an archive of cuneiform text was excavated at an ancient site in Ugarit, modern Ras Sharma, Syria. In addition to their linguistic value, these texts revolutionized the scholarly understanding of Canaanite religion and shed light on the religion of the patriarchs and the matriarchs, dating from the late Bronze Age. These texts number in the thousands and are written in several languages, including one with affinities to Hebrew. Many contain myths and legend about Canaanite gods, mainly El and Baal. With the new information, it is clear that authors, the sources of Genesis, knew about the Canaanite gods. Throughout Genesis, the authors of E and P sources usually call the divine being El, the leader of the Canaanite pantheon, or Elohim, a plural form of the name applied to the single being. Although they use other names and epithets as well, they do not use the name Yahweh until it is revealed to Moses in Exodus 6:2-3. God also spoke to Moses and said to him, I am the Lord Yahweh. I appeared to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob as Almighty El Shaddai. But my name, the Lord Yahweh, I did not make myself known to them. The name El Shaddai, another divine name, appears 5 times in the Genesis P source. It compromises the combination of El, the Canaanite god, with the epithet Shaddai, or one of the mountain. By contrast, the J source in Genesis regularly uses the name Yahweh for the deity from the time of Adam, beginning in Genesis 4:26, at the time people began to invoke the name of the Lord. So I just wanted to let you know, prior to be calling Yahweh, they had El and Baal. And that's what, when Kalam asked me, I was familiar with Baal. And I showed you again the bronze statue of El, which is in the Hebrew or the Canaanite, which is ancient Hebrew. This is the bronze statue El. So, you know, any other questions?
Jeez, Scholar gang. That L is looking like a Sarah for a second.
Okay, who is the Egyptian god Yah then? The moon god. How does that mix together with Yahweh?
Do you know what? Unfortunately, a lot of the times, I've heard people say that, the Egyptian moon god is Yah, and Yah is Yahweh. Unfortunately, I think that is wrong. That's false. That's false. It's false. We don't actually have a deity called Yah. Let me actually pull this up if it's possible. Let's see if I can do something for you guys, because just to help my Hebrew brothers as well, man. Please mute your mic when you just join. because I hear it a lot. Yah is not actually a moon deity like that. So Yah, Egypt, Egyptian god. Okay, Yah, the Egyptian god. Okay, so yeah. So although it would be nice, Yah, the Egyptian god, is here. As you can see, it's somebody reads this as Y and then A and then H, and then there is a moon right there. And it looks cool. It looks good. It looks really, really nice. But unfortunately, it's not real. And I'll show you why it's not real in a minute. Just so you can see. This is actually cross. Can I do this? Can I do this? Does it have the ability? There you go. There you go. This is called a very basic cross comparison or cross-linguistic comparison of languages. Okay. You see here the word moon. The word Yah actually means moon, to be honest with you. Okay. Some people transliterate this. I'm just using Wikipedia. Apologize. Like, allow me in it. I'm using Wikipedia, and some people, look, they even put the Y, even though it's an I there. Some people put a J there for some strange reason. They even put an AH and even add the W and all sorts going on. Okay. But in Kemet, it is a lunar deity. It's a lunar deity. His name simply means moon. Okay. Simply means moon. Now, let's actually go into Hebrew and see what we have. We have the term here, Yod, Resh, and He. Okay. Yod, Resh, and He. Okay. Which is Yarach. Yarach. Okay. That's that. Now, in Hebrew, in Kemet, we have the same principle of a Yod or a vowel system right here. It's a vowel, actually. It could be E, R, etc. It's a vowel right here, which usually when you see the double read, it's Yah. So it's a quick lesson on it. Now, this symbol here, okay, is an arm. It's an arm. That's an Ein principle. It's an Ein. But it also can represent the letter R, okay? So like as in AR, Yah, okay? And then you got the He symbol right here. And then you see this is a determinative of the moon. So really and truly, this is actually Yod, Resh, and He. And it literally means moon. And as we can see right here, you got the Yod, the Resh, and the He. And this is the Yah of Kemet, okay? It's not simply YAH, okay? When you actually have to pronounce it, is Yarah, Yarah, okay? That's how you actually pronounce it in Kemet or in the Kemetic tongue, is Yarah. And it literally means, as you can see right here, a moon, okay? So it's not, no, Yahweh or Yahweh or Yah, whatever the case is not the Kemetic Yah deity or the Kemetic principle of the moon. It's not that. Just to help out my Hebrews real quickly, when you hear people say that. Hopefully that made sense. If it didn't make no sense, let me know, and I try my best to deliver it another way.
It makes sense, but it's still referring to a lunar deity, and I don't know, but maybe there was different dialects of pronouncing it in ancient Kemet and how things would have been pronounced in different places in the Near East. And I've also heard that the moon deity was quite prevalent around that whole region, going into the Babylon, they had something with a similar name or similar characteristic.
Yeah, there's plenty moon deity around.
It's more of a theology. It's more of a theology rather than deity belief. It's more like Kalam was saying earlier, more common sense than it is spiritual.
Yeah, definitely pragmatic. So yeah, unfortunately, this particular Yahweh or Yahweh or tetragrammaton is not actually the moon itself. I know, sometimes we see things, we see that it looks the same, therefore it must be the same. But of course, it's not the same. We have to do a little bit more scholarship. We have to start understanding the field that we actually, studying. That we're trying to propose something is, if we're looking at languages, we should study the grammar, the morphology of that particular language itself. Then we need to actually understand the linguistics of the language and to see if it actually is. But unfortunately for this one, I would love to claim that Yahweh is actually the moon deity Yah or Yara in Egypt, but it's unfortunately this time around, it's not that deity. So let's continue. Let's actually continue. Unless you got some questions, let me quickly see. Yeah, If you look any questions,
Hey,
on the comment section. Hold on one second, my brother. If you look at any questions on the comment section, please, what you need to do is tag Titans. I can see you lot going in on the comment section, but I can't read all of these comments, especially whilst I'm live on air. What I'll ask you to do is please just tag Titans TV, and then we'll go, and from that, it will be highlighted so I can ask your questions on here. All right. I definitely want to represent you guys. All you have to do is just tag Titans TV, make it a little bit easy for me to get your questions up. Also, hit the like button and the share button, baby. Come on, let's get it popping. Okay, who's got a question or the comment?
I have a question, Kalam.
Go ahead, King.
How you doing, brother? All right, I'm just gonna throw this out there. So, can we look or can we even have a belief system in a religion?
Is it just me? But your thing has gone terribly wrong. It's gone south, G.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me
Just
now,
say
brother?
no, it's gone south. Yeah, I can hear you
All right,
now.
awesome. Okay, so can we look at how does Kemet differ from religion? And this is my opinion. There is as far as religion goes, we have to look at the irrational part of it and the inconsistencies in the text. Now, how do we get past that and get to more of a Kemet, more of a non-spiritual, common sense plane of existence?
I hear you. It depends on how someone is utilizing the word religion, wherever we can classify, what we're talking about inside of Kemet is actually, a culture, a civilization, an empire itself. So, of course, Kemet is not a religion, but we have to go into their system. Are we talking about their, their philosophical system, their spiritual system, their scientific system? What are we talking
We
about?
can do that, but we can do that without jumping into any mysticism or irrationales that we can't really explain.
Definitely. That's one of literally, for those of us who know, I've been saying it over and over again, our Kemetic creed, our number one, pillar or building block is gnosis, which is knowledge. We need to be able to seek knowledge. Knowledge is also, literally to seek knowledge is science. We need to deal with the science. That's key. That's fundamental. If you don't have the scientific method, then you don't have anything at all when you're talking about Kemet. If we're talking about philosophy, if you don't have it, you don't have it. If we're talking about spirituality, you need a scientific method, all sorts, to deal with us in terms of Kemetic in the philosophy itself. Right. So no, we don't deal with religion in that sense.
If you believe in a God, you literally have to feel it in your soul for it to be true. You can go to church on, one Sunday and you can not feel the spirit, and you go out later on that night and drink some liquor and go have a party. But the next Sunday, you may really feel it, and then you do your praise dance, and you come out and giving the dawah to everybody, and it's definitely a huge difference there. And I just kind of feel like there's a little bubblegum-ish. Like the conversation is like where Kalam, your points are so strong, but really like underneath, that's really what we're saying. There's so much more rationale to what we believe in.
100%.
And not belief. 100%. I'm sorry, not belief. What we know, to what we know.
What we know and accept. All right, let's get it, family. Now I wanted to go into the second point. Is I wanted to talk about I found it interesting because I was reading a text which was spurred on, and it ties into the whole New Year theme itself. Literally, it's about the New Year. It's about the New Year. And I was reading this text, and I was like, "Bro, that's the holy name of God. What's the sacred name of God, Khufu? Hey, Khufu, if you're here with me, man, tell me, what's the sacred name of God?"
I am that I am.
Nah, man, I want to hear it properly, though, G. I want to hear it in a little, a little flavor, G.
Oh, I speak to these broads like the man that I am. The secret name of God is I am that I am.
Jeez. I love that. My brother. So yeah, let me just quickly go to the sacred name of God, which is I am that I am. Real quickly. So let me share my screen. So I know I'm doing this a backwards way. I'm doing it backwards because really and truly, I said to you, I'm going to look at it from a Kemetic centered view and then go into the other philosophies or the other religions to see how they looked at it. But I actually wanted to do this real quickly and just show you, in Exodus 3:14, God said unto Moses, no. Let me do this a little bit better than that. Let me do it a bit better than that. Go to 3:13. And Moses said unto God, behold, when I come unto the children of Israel, and shall say unto them, the God of your fathers has sent me unto you. And they shall say unto me, what is his name? What shall I say unto them? And God said unto Moses, and God said unto yo, God, I'm asking you, what did he say unto Moses? See, certain gods don't even know their cue, Certain gods don't know their cue.
My name is Yahweh.
Nah, G, it's not good enough, man. I need a God to say this, G. I need man like Khufu to say this. And God said unto Moses, still no more, man. Let me see. Let me try once more. If he doesn't say this year, I'm not even greeting him as a God anymore. And God said unto Moses, God damn, where's Khufu
I am
at?
that I am. Now walk and spread your seed into the land.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about there. Kyrie just done it for everybody else. I love that. Let me do that again. And God said unto Moses,
I am that I am. Now walk and spread your seed into the land. Woo.
Is that Nuk Pu Nuk?
I love it. We need to get the fire on. Come on. And he said, thus shall thou say unto the children of Israel, I am has sent me unto you. All right. And furthermore, and God said, moreover unto Moses, thus shall thou say unto the children of Israel, the Lord God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, hath sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial unto all generations. All right. So this is the name of God. All right. Name of God. And it was very interesting because we've all read this text. We all know about the sacred name of, hopefully, some of us know about the sacred name of God. And I was like, bro, okay, that's powerful right there. That's real powerful. That's mad powerful. I wonder, did Kemet have the same principle as well? What do you lot think? Did Kemet have the same principle?
Give him that medicine, brother. Give him that medicine, brother.
All right, let's get that medicine in. All right. Okay, and it says here, his profile being drawn. Okay, so this is basically the book of the celestial cow, okay, or the book of the heavenly cow. Let me actually do this real quickly for those of you. Book of the heavenly cow. Okay, so there it is, the book of the heavenly cow. Funny that. Look at that. Look at that. And this is why I find it so very interesting, that you find the sacred name of God in the book of the heavenly cow, yet they made an idol of a cow, or even a heavenly cow. We have to call it heavenly because it was idolized and it was divinized. Okay, so it's quite hilarious, that we have a book of the heavenly cow. Okay, the book of the heavenly cow, and guess what we find in the book of the heavenly cow? All right, we find I am who I am. All right, I am who I am. I am who I am. All right, I will not let them take action. Okay, so it continues, yeah. But we already had the name of I am who I am. And who is speaking here? Who is actually speaking? We're actually talking about the majesty himself. Ra is himself, literally said to the people, I am who I am, or I am that I am, depending on the translation of it. Let me just quickly do this. Depending on the translation of it, you get, some people say, but it says I am who I am. It doesn't say I am that I am. All right, fair enough. Let me do this then. Let me do this. Because obviously, let me see. Does it come up? I wonder, would it actually come up? I wonder. Who knows? Let's try something. I'm trying something new. You know the ways there, like I don't even have to. Okay, maybe it doesn't come up. Maybe it doesn't. But anyways, I am who I am, or I am that I am, is actually there with inside of the book of the heavenly cow itself. And I found that very amazing, very, very amazing. Ooh, where are we? I found it very, very amazing that the sacred name of God is actually found within inside of the Kemetic literature itself. You know, I am who I am. Yo, Morris Dawa, talk to me, King.
Hey, that's some I am you shit, bro. I don't know where you're at.
Bruv.
That's I am
Bruv.
you. That's what you. Yo,
Jeez.
you try to wake me up, bro.
Jeez, man, like virtue. Come and drop that science, though, fam. I beg you, come and drop that science. Let them understand.
Right.
Let them understand.
No, I'm just saying. That's what you just explained, innit? It's I am you.
Straight.
That's what you just said. I am you.
Straight.
That's what he told them, and no action's gonna be taken. I am you, fam.
I love it right there. Well, let me do this. Let me do this. Virtue TV. Virtue TV. Just
Kalam,
out here having
is
fun.
Nuk Pu Nuk written all over ancient Egypt,
Say again.
right? Isn't Nuk Pu Nuk written all over the place in stone in ancient Kemet or Kemet?
Oh yeah, Nuk Pu Nuk is another one.
That is I am that I am, or I am that I am in.
Yes. So yeah, you're quite right. Let me just. Am I sharing my screen still? No, I'm not. I don't think so. So yeah, you're quite right. Nuk Pu Nuk is actually in there throughout Kemet as well. Nuk Pu Nuk. Yeah. So Nuk Pu Nuk, you can find it. This is a thread. So Nuk Pu Nuk, where can I go? Where can I go? I love going to books. There you go. You should just go to the Book of the Dead. This should be page 91, I think, on my Book of the Dead. Yeah, 91. Yep, we have the same thing. I am that I am. Okay, Nuk Pu Nuk. Literally, I am that I am. I'll have to go. I should really do some like lessons on the grammar so you lot can see that I am that I am. And who was he? And where was he coming from? Where was he coming from? Look at that. Nuk Pu Nuk. Let me ask you a question. Where did Ra come from? For those who know.
Oh,
For those who know.
Nubia.
I'm talking about in the mythology.
Oh,
In the mythology, where did Ra come from in terms of?
I know the moon.
from
Where was he residing? Where was he residing inside of before he emerged?
in the primordial waters of the tomb?
Yeah, dude.
There you go. There you go. He was in the primordial waters. And it says here, I am that I am, coming forth out of the flood waters. Okay. It giveth my inundation, and it gaineth power there as the river Nile. So we're talking about the primordial waters, you know. This is Ani right here, you know. It says here, Jed and Osar and Ani. Okay. You know, so these are the words spoken by Ani the self. Okay. Ani the scribe, who is divinized as Osar. Okay. So Jed and Osar and Ani. Okay. Or Anui, sorry. Anui. I know they translate it as Ani right here, but if we read it, it's A, N, and then it's plurals, which represents you, and then the two reads is a yod sound or y sound, so it's Anui actually. But anyways, that's another thing that we have to deal with these translations. And it says here, Nuk Pu Nuk, you know, I am that I am, you know, coming forth out of the flood waters. So yeah, so this is the sacred name of God. I am that I am, and those who are truly initiated into the priesthood and the scribe systems understand and fully understand when somebody utilizes the term I am that I am, or I am you, baby, I am you. So he was given, you know, Moses was given this sacred name of God, which is I am that I am. Now, but the question is though. The question is, yeah, if the Israelites, yeah, fully knew, yeah, who God was, isn't it curious that they started worshiping the cow? Why did they do that? Does anybody know the reason why they did that?
Something to do with Baal, maybe?
Nope.
The Near Eastern deity of the region?
Nothing to do with Baal. Nothing to do with Baal.
And I got no
I wonder,
idea, bro.
anybody know why? Anybody know why?
Those
of you lot who read the Egyptian.
They wasn't supposed to kill the cows, so they had to give wrong.
Okay. So remember the story of Moses. Moses went up, into the hills for 40 days and 40 nights to speak to God, right? But to them, you know, the time had transpired, had gone past where he might have come down. Okay. And they're saying, you know what? Aaron, make us a golden calf, you know, as it being our idol, basically, who brought us out of the lands of Pharaoh. Let me just see. Calf. Golden calf. Is it called golden calf? Let's see if we can just bring it up. Bring it up. Okay, no, I'll just type in calf.
But if I remember from Sunday school, that I was told that calf was a representation of Baal. That's what I was told as a kid.
They lied to you.
Yeah, telling me about it. Christians lied to me non-stop my entire life.
Damn, but is that crazy? They might have lied to you, bro.
It's a representation of Set, though, bruv. That's the real talk.
Nope. I know it, bruv. You lot coming up with some good stuff, but it's not.
It's representation of Set.
All right.
Bro, type it in.
All right, let me continue. So we go to Exodus 32, and it's here. It's all here. You know, he was up there in the mountains, and Aaron said unto them, break off the golden earrings which are in thy ears of thy wives, and of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. Bring them unto me. And all the people break off the golden earrings which were in their ears and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand and fashioned it with a graving tool. And after he had made it a molten calf, and they said, by thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Okay. And when Aaron saw it, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made proclamation and said, tomorrow is a feast to the Lord. And they rose up early on the morrow and burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play and so forth. And the Lord said unto Moses, go down, you know, like, goddamn, you don't see what these stiff-necked people are doing? I love the word stiff-necked. Just sounds like a Hebrew word to say, you know, you stiff-necked people. All right. So we see in here that they literally attributed this Elohim. The word here is Elohim. The Elohim, okay, who brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Okay, so they're ascribing that this particular golden calf was the Elohim that brought them out of the land of Egypt. Now, does anybody know what was the final act that actually got them out of the land of Egypt itself? Does anybody know?
What, the crossing of the Red Sea or something?
Before that, just before the crossing of the Red Sea, what happened?
The firstborn. The death
firstborn.
Of the firstborn.
Yeah. The what? The death of the firstborn. You just said it. Death of the firstborn. And what did they have to do? What did they exactly have to do in order for the firstborn to be killed?
Paint on top of their door and with the blood of a lamb, the fresh lamb or young lamb.
There you go. So for some of my Christian brothers and sisters, they may see this as a precursor or an omen or an overshadowing of Jesus Christ itself. Okay. Why do I say that they see this as an overshadowing of Jesus Christ itself? Why? Because there needed to be a lamb. Okay. We know that Jesus is the Lamb of God that had to be sacrificed, okay, for the sins or crimes of the people of Israel, for them to be freed. Okay. So by sacrificing the lamb and then posting up everything, posting up the blood on the houses, the openings and so forth, you know, being bathed in the blood of Jesus Christ type of vibe, or bathed in the blood sacrifice of the ram, the angel of the Lord will pass over. So we have the feast of Pesach or Passover, so that the angel of the Lord, or the angel of death, or the angel of the Lord, I think, will literally pass over that particular house. It's consumed the blood from that house and passes over and goes and consumes the Egyptian blood, or Egyptians who never done the Passover symbol on top of their houses. And that's how Pharaoh's firstborn died, etc. And then finally, get out, and Moses, led the children of Egypt out of the house of bondage and said, let my people be free. And they were all singing it, freedom, freedom, freedom. Yo, apologies. Now I'm in it. And they were freed and so forth. Yeah. But what was so incredible about that story is that we can literally find the same story transpiring with inside of Egypt. Okay, it's out of Kemetic text, which is in the book of the celestial cow or the book of the heavenly cow. And right here we see the eye of Ra. Well, eye of Ra. Well, we can pretend this is the eye of Ra. This is actually the eye of Heru, but let's just say it's the eye of Ra anyway. So
Kalam, before you go further, I just want to make a guess. Has it got anything to do with Hathor in their form as the cow?
There you go. There you go. Well done.
It's a distant memory of when their time in Egypt when they had plenty and then had nothing.
Something like that. Well done.
For the so-called Hebrew people.
Well done. Well done. You've got it just right. You got it just right. So basically, back in the day, okay, we had the majesty of Ra, the self-generated God, that when he had been in the kingship over mankind and the gods combined, mankind proceeded to contrive a plot against the person of Ra or Ra. Okay, so they actually had a plot against him. Okay, they had a plot against him. They wanted to overthrow Ra somehow. Hold on. Oh no, I'm just reading. Sorry, let me share my screen with you guys so you all can see the text. Apologize. So anyways, so yeah, there was a lot of people who was doing all these things, and they said, you know what shall we do? What shall we do? And it says here, the mentions they fled into the desert. Okay, fearful, I might say to them, and then. Okay, sorry. Okay. Okay, the fear of you is great. Your eye, okay, so the eye of Ra, this is eye now. Your eye shall proceed against those who conspire against you. The majesty of Ra said, see, they have fled into the desert, their hearts fearful over what I might say to them. Then they said unto his majesty, send out your eye that it may smite them for you. You remember do you remember that? Did you see where you fled into the desert? Do you remember Moses was like, just let my people go for 3 days into the deserts or into the wilderness and let us sacrifice to our gods. So anyways, it says here, then they said unto the majesty, send out your eye that it may smite them for you. So those who have conspired so wickedly, no eye is capable as it to smite them for you. May it descend in the form of Hathor. My brother hit the nail on the head earlier on saying Hathor. And for those of you who don't know Hathor is, let's see her right here. This is Hathor in her anthropomorphic form, but this is her in her zoological form. Okay, this is her in a zoological form right here. And as we can see literally right here, we can literally see, this is not Kemetic. I don't think this is Kemetic though, to be honest with you. But we can literally see the symbol here of Hat or Hut, which literally is a temple. Okay. And then we can see the symbol here of Hor. Okay. Hathor. And actually, you can even see it again. Somebody's trying to do something here. I don't think this is actually Kemetic though. This ain't Kemetic because they've got the T the wrong way around, but that's another story. So anyways, here you got, again, you can see the Hut, the temple right here, H-U-T, and then you can see the symbol of Har, which means face. So Hathor right here, Hathor, and they've even given it the, they really tried. Somebody really did try their best, but you can see that they don't understand how to write hieroglyphs. This isn't actually something that's inside of Kemet itself. Apologies. Why do we know this? Because we can see that they've butchered the way that it should be read. So somebody tried to write hieroglyphs here, but it's not the same. Let me see if we can find an actual hieroglyphs of Hathor. Let's see. So yeah, well, the book of the celestial cow, this is Hathor, to be honest with you. Well, we all know what we're trying to look for. There it is, her in her cow form right there. So yeah, so we realized that Hathor was sent out, being the eye of Ra, and then this god returned after she had slain mankind in the desert. The majesty of this god said, welcome, Hathor. Have you accomplished for which you've been sent out? This goddess replied, as you live for me, I have overpowered mankind, and it was agreeable to your heart. The majesty of Ra said, I shall gain power over them as king, hold off disseminating them. And so Sekhmet came into being. Okay. Yeah, Sekhmet came into being at this moment in time. Sekhmet is another deity. It's a ferocious lion nest deity. Let me just quickly show you real quickly. Let's just show you what Sekhmet is. Sekhmet. So there you go. For those of you who have been to the British Museum, This is actually, no, this ain't the image of the British Museum. It looks like the British Museum one, but it's not. It's the Brooklyn Museum. So that's Sekhmet. She's a lioness creature, lioness figured right here. Okay, so Sekhmet was born at this moment in time, and somebody was asking, like, why? How did Hathor change into Sekhmet, or how was Sekhmet actually born or came into being at this moment in time? Well, the term Sechem or Sekhmet is actually the feminization of the term Sechem. Some people might, Sechem. Sechem literally means power. Okay, to have power, to be powerful. Kind of made up of two words actually. Sechem. Chem literally means blackness. Blackness is literally power, when we say black power, and sometimes I say Sekem Kem, and everybody's wondering, what the hell is he saying? What does it mean, Sekem Kem? It literally means Kem means black, Sekem means power, Sekem Kem, black power. So anyways, Sekhmet is basically power. Okay, or the feminine version of power. Why is it power? Because Ray had the ability to destroy everybody. But what did he say? I shall gain power over them as king, hold of disseminating them. So, as I always say, it's so easy. It's so easy to go in on everybody, and disseminate them and completely destroy them. Law number 15 of the 48 laws of powers, for those of you who read Robert Greene, destroy your enemies completely, totally. Do not even leave a smoldering wick for them. We could operate on those type of principles, but we say, nah, forget that, let my mercy prevail over my wrath. Okay. So Ra allowed his mercy to prevail over his wrath, and the power, his power or his actualization of power was left in its dormant state, in its potential state. And so therefore Sekhmet, power, came into being in terms of dormancy, but still having the ability to move forward. Now, anyways, let me just quickly continue. So that's why, the Egyptians, the Hebrews, same thing, said, you know what? This is who actually freed us. It was the Eye of Ra. It was Hathor, the one who led us out of the lands of Misraim, out of the lands of bondage. Okay, that's why they reverted to actually creating an idol for this particular individual. But what's going to get even more interesting is this. And so Sekhmet came into being. The nightly bear mash for wading in the blood, starting from Heracleopolis. Ray said, "Please summon me speedy emissaries who pace is as swift as body shadow." Anyways, it goes on. And it basically says here that at this point in time, red ochre, to pulverizing. Okay, no, let me go back up. Actually, let me go back up so it really makes sense. Okay. So these emissaries were brought immediately. Then said the majesty of this god, "Run up to Elephantine and fetch me red ochre in quantity." So this red ochre was brought to him. The majesty of this great god assigned the sidelocked one, who is in Heliopolis, to pulverize this red ochre, while maidservants were engaged in grinding barley for beer. This red ochre was then added to that beer mash, so that it was just like human blood. 7,000 heavenly jars of beers were thus produced. Are you catching a resemblance right now? Okay, for the Hebrews, they dealt with slaughtering a lamb and spreading the blood all over the doors. But over here we have beer created into red ochre is added to the beer to create what looks or appears as human blood. Okay, and it says here, the majesty of the king upper and lower Egypt came, and so forth. And it says here, how good is it? I shall preserve mankind from her. So this is the statement here of him saying, you know what? Let me allow destroying mankind, and let me save them from my wrath or from my anger, which is the Eye of Ra. So he said, let my mercy prevail over my wrath. A lot of you lot might know about that. And transport it, please, to the place where she said she would slay mankind. So as she's going out for the next slaying of mankind, Ray got up in the early deep of the night in order to have intoxicating drought poured out. Then the fields became filled to the height of 3 palms with the liquid through the power of the majesty of this god. This goddess set out in the morning, and she found these fields inundated. Her face became delighted thereat. So she proceeded to drink, and it was just fine in her estimation. she returned to so drunk that she had been unable to recognize mankind. The majesty of Re then said to this goddess, "Welcome, darling." And so beautiful women come to be in Yemawu. Okay, so in Yemawu, the majesty of Re then told this goddess that intoxicating draughts shall be prepared for her on the seasonal feasts of the year. Maid servants shall be held responsible for this, and so the preparation of intoxicating draughts become the assignment of maid servants on the feast of Hathor, on the part of all the people since the first day. Okay, the majesty of Re said to this goddess, "Has the heat of sickness become painful? And so respect is bound to originate through pain." Then said the majesty of Re, "As I live for myself, my heart is too weary to remain with them, that I should slay them to the very last one. The reach of my arm shall in no way diminish." So anyways, and afterwards, Ra decided to actually go back up into the heavens instead of being king on the earth, and he gave the power over to other individuals to look after the world. That's the basics of the story. But what's very interesting about the story, actually, let me just quickly go back to the audience and then break down what is very interesting about this story. Yo, has anybody got anything to say? Has anybody got anything interesting to say? Anybody got something to say? Let me know. Let me know.
I just want to say, Kalam, you remind me so much of Sekhmet. So much. You're such a nice intellectual man. You could tear people down as much as you want, man. And I see it sometimes when I'm watching your videos. I'm like, he could destroy that man right now. He can take that man out right there. And you allow people to speak their truths and to believe whatever they want to believe, and you're not just trying to tear people down. And we don't have enough people like you. Big ups. Big ups.
Love my brother. Love my brother. Love my brother. Love that. So, as we just quite clearly seen that we see, we have something in ancient Egypt. We have a celebration that actually takes place based upon this first occurrence of Sekhmet or Ra sending out his eye. Okay, his devouring eye to actually, kill off those who were rebellious, the firstborns or the first nations of rebellious people, the Apep-like children, the children who are the brood of vipers, those individuals. He sent out his eye to devour them and kill them all off, okay, during that time period. And because of that, Ra actually said, "You know what? Let my mercy. I want to be a merciful ruler. I want to be a merciful king. I don't want to destroy them all completely. Okay. So what I will do is save a few of them. How will I save a few of them? Is by concocting something. Okay. Because of course, when a ruler, this is real key right here. Why we have mercy, why we have wrath, or wrath is actually the exacting of punishment due to judgment. So if somebody has been judged a particular way, you exact the punishment that's supposed to take place. So for example, sin underneath the law of the Torah is death. Okay, hence Jesus had to come and be the sacrificial lamb and die for all humanity. So that particular punishment wouldn't have been enacted on the rest of humanity. They would have been dead. But that's another story. Let me get back into this. So in order for you to be merciful, okay, you still need to exact the same amount of punishment that was meant to be exacted, but you're being merciful. Meaning, for example, if the punishment is 10 lashes on your back, for committing a particular crime, I still got to exact that 10 lashes on your back, no matter what. But because you are a woman, because you are, let's say, a pregnant woman that done a particular, crime out of poverty, for example, instead of me lashing you with something like a whip, I'm going to lash you with some feathers right about now. I feel your pain, darling. I feel your pain, baby. I feel your pain, baby. I got you. Don't worry. I got you. That's my mercy right there. You know what? Here's some bread. Take it off with you and do your thing. I got you, baby. So yeah. So as we can see, that Ra actually had to exact his punishment, exact judgment for him to be a true and just deity. But instead of actually doing it, he allowed mercy to creep in, which was him actually constructing the plan or being wise. This shows his intellect and wisdom to say, you know what, let me appease the executor of the punishment. And it's the same thing that was going on if we look at the Hebrew story, there was judgment that was passed upon these individuals, passed upon these individuals. And based upon his wisdom and his mercy, he not allowed anybody who had the blood on the doorpost to actually be executed. So we can see the correlation there. But again, let me go back into the Kemetic side of things, and we see that based upon this, there is a yearly occurrence where the women would literally mash the barley and create beer, and everybody would drink the beer to reflect on this particular moment in time. And we see the same thing occurring with the Hebrews as well. They celebrate this moment, and they call that moment the Pesach offering or the Passover celebrations. And what's very interesting yet again, okay, this brings us to the point of what I actually found when I was debating my brother Shamsi, and I done a little bit of research. I was like, "Ooh, I like this. Let me just hold this on for a little bit still." Oh man, my brother Kufu, my music is there. Music is there. All right, let me just quickly see. Where do I want to go? So right here. So this is against the Sabians. The Sabians. No, do I want to go to the Sabians? No, let me not go to the Sabians. Who else do I like? The Nazarenes. Nazarenes. There you go. Is it the Nazarenes? Okay, yeah. So basically, so this is Epiphanius of Salamis. Okay, Epiphanius of Salamis. Okay, he writes something. He was actually writing a book that's going against the heresies of certain individuals. Yeah, and it says here, moreover, the tradition of the lamb which was slaughtered in Egypt is still famous among the Egyptians, even the idolaters, at the time when the Passover was instituted there. This is the beginning of spring at the first equinox. All the Egyptians take red lead. Remember, we read about the red ochre earlier on, though without knowing why, and smear their lambs with it. And they also smear the trees, the fig trees, and the rest, and spread the report that fire once burned up the world on this day. So that's the eye of Ra, that's the sun, that's Hathor that went throughout the lands, that gone into the deserts and created the deserts even. But the fiery red appearance of blood is a protection against a calamity of such magnitude and such nature. Interesting, right? Interesting that that Epiphanius was actually recording something like this. This particular tradition. Okay, and it said it's still famous among the Egyptians up to this day, up to his day. I think he was writing in the 5th century. So this practice of the Egyptians was still occurring. Okay, was still occurring. And let's find out something. Because the Hebrews of today, they've changed over the date that they celebrate the Passover. Okay, but guess what? This is what I love. Again, this the Sabians. For those of you who know the Sabians are, they're like the Egyptians. They're literally they are the Egyptians, should I say? And it says here they put the new moon. Okay, so this is how these particular individuals, they put the new moon feast of the feast of unleavened bread after the new year. Okay, after the new year, which falls in the autumn, that is after the month of Tishri, which is called August by the Romans, but Mesari by the Egyptians, or Mesari, or birth of the sun, or birth of Ra. So they practice something here called the Feast of the Unleavened Bread, okay, during this period. This is their New Year celebration. And we ask ourselves, what is the Feast of the Unleavened Bread? Unleavened bread. What is the Feast of the Unleavened Bread? Oopsie. Sorry, 1 second.
Ain't that Passover?
The Feast of the There you go.
Yeah.
It's Passover, baby.
Yeah, Pesach.
It's Passover.
Oh.
Yeah. All right. And let's find out what actually happens on Pesach. Okay. It says here, is an important biblically derived Jewish holiday. Jews celebrate the Passover as commemoration of their liberation by God from the slavery in ancient Egypt and their freedom as a nation under the leadership of Moses. It commemorates the story of Exodus as described in the Hebrew Bible, especially in the book of Exodus, in which the Israelites were freed from slavery in Egypt, according to standard biblical chronology. It says here, Passover is a spring festival which, during the existence of the temple in Jerusalem, was connected to the offerings of the first fruits of the barley. Barley being the first grain to be ripened in the lands of Israel. Now, I don't know if you lot see the similarity right there. or the coincidence, of how, let me just quickly do this, of how they celebrate it by doing things with barley, okay? And what did they have to do? What is the women assigned to do on the first day of this new year? They are assigned to actually getting barley, that which makes the alcohol or the beer. Okay, let me just quickly go into it. Where does it say it? So it's actually there, open patang for you lot to see it. Okay, look. While maidservants were engaged in grinding barley for beer. Yeah, look at that. Look at the coincidence. Look at the coincidence. What they do on the first day is the first fruits of the barley, whereas the Egyptians done the first fruits of the barley, whereas the Hebrews will paint everything with ochre, paint everything. The Egyptians will paint things ochre red with that and celebrate this whole the first, the new year. The new year during their particular springtime, which was in the August months and so forth, which is actually called the Echet time period. And then the Hebrews do exactly the same thing. Okay, they're celebrating the blood passing over. They're celebrating the Lord actually killing off the firstborns of the Egyptians or the rebellious firstborns and so forth and so forth. It's the same story being said in both, if you're able to peep it. I don't know if you're able to, let me know if you're not able to peep it. Sometimes I peep stuff that I don't think other people peeping. Go ahead,
Callum, it's no coincidence as far as I'm concerned. I mean, everybody knows that the whole Abrahamic faith is basically blasted from ancient Kemetic, the Kemetic corpus. Everybody, well, I mean, it's not even a debate with Hebrew Israelites or Muslims. It's not a debate because we all know where it comes from. I mean, so when they talk about look, when they entered Kemet, they entered as uneducated savages. Okay, allegedly they were enslaved for 400 years. Okay, of course, in 400 years, if you're enslaved by somebody, you're going to pick up those customs because you're going to forget your own, especially when you enter as a group of men with no women, which is what they did, according to themselves, right? So, of course, 400 years later, they probably couldn't speak a lick of Hebrew if the language even existed. They spoke Egyptian. They'd have looked like Egyptians. They'd have addressed like Egyptians. And actual fact, all their mothers would have been Egyptian because they entered as men.
That's right.
So I don't see any mystery in it. It's not a coincidence. It's just common sense. You can almost trace back everything in the Bible, particularly the Old Testament. You can trace it back to something that happened in Kemet. There you go.
That's right. That's right. I like that.
I mean, and it's not just Kemet though. There are a lot of things in the Bible that have been taken from all over the place, and you can definitely look in history. And the same with the Torah. Also, the same in the Quran. You look at it, and you can look at other religions and beliefs, and yeah, they're little pieces, little nuggets right there.
You know what? On that theme, real quickly, you know what I found? Yeah, I found something that was real interesting. Yeah, real interesting. I was looking through Aaron's genealogy, Harun, for those people who know him as such. And what was real interesting, when I found this here, I was perplexed for a hot second. Like, I literally stopped because I was reading the whole Exodus story before actually doing the show. And I was reading this, and Eliza, Aaron's son, took him one of the daughters of Putiel to wife, and she bare him Phineas. These are the heads of the fathers of the Levites according to their families. And I was like, Phineas. I like that name, I actually like that name. You got Phineas and Ferb, for those people who know it. I think that's almost probably made me look at it. And I was like, what is that? What does that name mean? And you know what I looked? And guess what I found? Guess. I want to see. Does anybody know what the name Phineas actually means? Here it is.
Okay? Hit us, brother. Hit us.
I'm not making this up, family. Yeah. Some people are going to think that I'm the one who's making this up. Yeah. But I'm really not. I really don't make stuff up here. I really don't. So the word Phineas literally means brass, basically. Okay, that's what they have here. But this is the etymology. The Oxford Companion to the Bible and Brown's Driver Briggs Hebrew and English lexicon identify Phineas or Phinehas as a variant of the Egyptian name Pa-Nehesi. Pa-Nehesi, Coptic, Pa Panehas. My Coptic is not that bad. According to the former, the Bible also uses Egyptian and Nubian names for the land and its people. For the Egyptians used to these color variations, the term for their southern neighbors were Nehisi. The word here, Nehisi, is not southerners, by the way. Yeah, they try it, but it's not, doesn't mean southerner, which eventually also came to mean the black or the Nubian. The Egyptian root Nehisi with the performative P as a definite article appears in Exodus 6:25 as the personal name of Aaron's grandson, Panahisi. So for those of you who know, yeah, what Panahisi literally means, yeah, it literally means, yeah, the Nubian. The Nubian. The Nubian. I was like, God damn, how much more clear do they want to have it for us, yeah? To see that these people were literally a mixture of people. Panahisi literally means the Nubian. Go and check out what Kush, like when you're calling the Kushites here, like, let me do this. Literally, Nahisi literally means the Nubians. And I was like, wow. Why did I never clock this before? Why did I never clock this before? But I clocked it that day. And you know, there's very interesting things about Panahisi. Very interesting stuff that you literally have to go to the Jewish encyclopedia to find out. I believe that his mother, you know, he's on his mother's side, his grandma or his mother's father, I believe, would have been a Nubian or an Egyptian that they married into. And Phineas is also said to be the Elijah of the Bible as well. And I was like, wow, very interesting. Very interesting. Sometimes things just call out to you. But anyways, let me get back to it. So where are we so far? Let me just do a quick summary of what we've actually come through to understand. We've understood that you know, the Kemetic understanding of nature and divine principles. We spoke on that. We spoke on one of the highest principles that we look towards is the creator principle, or the active creative potential that we have as ourselves, that's inside of the universe, that's constantly providing and giving life and light to other people. We looked at that principle, and we also made the statement or the claim or the assertion that the Hebrews had a very much so the same value system on how they looked at their own deity. And we looked inside of the biblical text, the biblical text for their beliefs, to see how they viewed God. They said God is a sun, literally a sun, a shield. He's the son of righteousness with healing in its wings. And we looked into the material culture, and we've seen that all the way from Hezekiah upwards and downwards. We've seen that the Hebrews actually, or the Judeans, Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom, actually had a lot of Egyptian themed solar wing disc or sun representation of divinity and of the pharaoh or of their kings themselves. They utilized heavily Egyptian hieroglyphs such as the Ankh representing eternal life or life. You know, we saw that the Kemetic beetle that they utilized. We saw that they utilized the Uraeus as well. There's a lot of symbology that they utilize as Hebrews or Israelites or Judeans, whatever terminology you want to classify them as. We went into that. We also went into the sacred name of God, you know, where some people from the Kabbalistic school of thought say that the tetragrammaton actually comes from, i.e., Yod, How, Wav, and He. Which is Yahweh or Yahweh. Literally is tied in somewhere with the Iye, Asher Iye, or the sacred name of God. And we also saw that within the Kemetic school of thought, we have the same principle of I am who I am, or I am that I am. We looked into the celestial book of the cow, where it's first actually mentioned, where I actually found it first actually mentioned within inside of that. This text goes back over 1500 BC, so predates Moses, actually predates Moses. And we see that the ancient Egyptians, the Kemetics, utilized these types of words to represent Ra, the creative being. We also saw that the same story of the wrath of God, sending out his angel, sending out sending out his angel or messenger to actually devour and kill people and so forth, is inside of the Kemetic school of thought. We see it as well with inside of the Hebrew school of thought, where Allah, Elohim, Yahweh Elohim send out his angel of death to kill off the people. We see that there is a parallel as well in terms of the blood, something being used as blood, one to represent human. Well, they're both stories are utilizing blood, and both stories are utilizing the blood to represent or symbolically represent human blood. Okay, and that human blood, if you put it over your door from the Hebrew side of things, the angel of death will pass over it. Maybe they will consume the blood and go elsewhere to consume other people's blood. In the Kemetic school of thought, we see that the red blood was utilized with the bear. It was painted on different things, and then therefore your lambs, your trees, whatever else you yourself is saved from the consuming fire and power of the anger of God. What else did we look into? Let me know if I've missed something out. I'm trying to summarize real quickly. Have we missed anything else out? No? All right, cool. So now I want to open it up to everybody else. What I will do is take a back seat, and if you got any questions, please tag Titans TV. Okay, tag Titans TV and ask your questions, please. Okay, so I can read them out. I'm going to show the screen right about now so you can see yourself. So I want to make sure that you guys are actually represented. So ask your questions. All right.
Kalam, fire. Go right ahead, brother.
If you can, hit the donate button. We got the PayPal link here if you want to donate. We've got the super chat button over here if you want to donate, and if you can as well, if you've got any skills that you think you could donate to Titans TV, please, holler at your boy. State your skills. Let me know what you can do to help us become better in 2018. Okay, help us to become better in 2018. All right, because I got a lot of projects that I need other people to fill out to actually do things to make things worth our while. All right, family, go on. Talk to me. I'm going to put myself on mute.
Hey. Hey, brother, Kalam. I just want to say, I have on the principle of adding, being additive, not subtractive. I have a bachelor's in engineering, and I definitely want to lend some of my services as far as music, instrumentation, and thank you again for everything that you're doing for us, putting these discussions together, these panels, and giving us the opportunity to speak our truths. And also a little bit of commentary while I'm here. Kalam, could you be asking some of our brothers that have specific or beliefs like Christianity and Islam to have an objective study of the beginnings of their religions? Is that what I'm hearing right now? You know what I love about that? That we don't have a lot of people jumping in because you're spitting nothing but fire and it's truth. Thank you.
Love, my brother. Love. Trust me. If you look any more things to say, please. I'm going to be muted out.
Oh, yeah, Kalam. One more, I'm sorry. Last thing. I want to get all your information so I can send out some XLR microphones as well and some mic stands. Thank you.
Yep. I just wanted to read something last out of the same book that I was reading before. All right. Show the book, the Old Testament in archaeology and history. So listen, at Ugaric, El is the creator of humanity and lives at the sources of the river that water the earth. El's goddess, Athirat, proclaims his divine wisdom. Likewise, the Bible presents a created God who plants his garden at the sources of the river and who enjoys the presence of divine female who proclaims divine wisdom. The Ugaritic battle myth seemed alien to readers of the Bible because of the multiple gods who interact, at times either supporting or opposing one another. By contrast, readers of the Bible permit the agenda to be set by the lonely God of Genesis and 1. An anomalous story about a single god who talks only to himself using the royal we. This has given readers the false impression that the Bible is a monotheistic anthology, so that references to other gods in biblical literature are consciously or unconsciously minimized or rationalized. In reality, the biblical God is an amalgamation of the gods of Canaan, finding the characteristics of several Canaanite gods, especially El and Baal, and at other times interacting with those gods at when the biblical God marches from the southern desert with his companion, the god of pestilence, to do battle with sea and river. Monotheism is a Greek philosophical concept that was applied to the Hebrew anthology at a late date and has little to do with the context of the Bible. Genesis 1 makes an excellent final example of the ways in which biblical authors use this literary heritage. When the background of the biblical chapter is known, it's God who invokes the royal we does not seem as majestically singular as appeared at first glance. The Bronze Era myth of the divine battle with recycling during the Iron Age as an elaborate ritual text at Babylon. In this version of the tale, the patron god is Marduk of Babylon, who battles Tiamat, the sea goddess. So I just wanted to drop that, and let you know that there were many gods, just like, we had many deities, and I just wanted to let y'all know that due to archaeological data, this is what they came up with. The same way when Kalam showed Hezekiah's shield, you saw unks on it. So that just shows that there was a cultural diffusion as well as trade, and philosophical ideas was also transferred from into each other. So what is the conclusion? The conclusion is we both derive certain things from each other, from inventions all the way to philosophical analysis of our environment. And with that, I rest. I gotta go. God bless. Scholar gang. Gang, gang, gang.
Gang, gang.
Gang, gang, gang. Jeez. My brother Phil right there. Trust me. Oh, man. Yo, family. Yo, let me shout out Kyrie real quickly. Yeah, salute to you, my brother. I heard what you said. We're gonna. Oh gosh. Let me just mute my thing. I got pure. I went and took a crisp break. I'm laying on front. I went and took a crisp break. Starving out here. Okay. Hey. So yeah, what I was gonna say is this. Okay, let me share my screen. Share my screen. We're doing the USA link up for Sarnet TV Awards. Okay, and if you lot would like to help us out, my brother Terry Riggs has started it up. And this is unification for our people to make history and a legacy that's never been done before, for two communities across the waters to come together in 2018 will be so powerful. It will make power moves for the new and next generation, which will be a legacy, and for a new historical picture book coming out soon that will have our people today in it for the future and light. Peace and light. Be a part of it, family, and donate for the future of the children. Okay. So shout outs to Adam Bonsu for donating. Shout outs to Tony Mason for donating to this monumental, iconic thing that's actually going to be taking place, like this event that's going to take place, So shout outs to you guys for donating. This is actually going to help with everything, getting us out there to America. It's going to help with everything else that's going on behind the scenes. I know my brother Terry will give a breakdown hopefully a little bit later on this. What else did I need to show you guys? Did I anything else? Oh yeah, your questions. That was it. Sorry, the questions. If you've tagged Titans TV, let me get your questions out. Okay. Ricky Winter says, Time TV, who was Ra killing off with Sekhmet? So Ra actually sent out his eye, which is the sun, and killing off the children of the Apep, or children of the revolt. Those people who were trying to conspire against Ra itself, they were the ones who were being killed off. Now, in this respect, it's actually talking about, what's very funny actually, this is talking about rulership. He's actually talking about rulership. He's actually talking about the pharaoh itself, the actual living pharaoh, the son of Ra, the Sa-Ra principle, or the Nefer Necha, the young deity, or the young son who is actually on the earth, ruling in terms of a pharaoh. There was actually a revolt that was taking place, or conspiracy to actually remove the rightful guided individuals or guided pharaoh away from the what's we call it, the throne itself, kind of like what was taking place during that time frame in terms of the story of Egypt. Okay, a new king arose during the time of Moses that did not know Joseph. Okay, remember, Joseph was actually a high-ranking individual. He was a vizier in ancient Egypt, according to the story. Okay, he was the second to the pharaoh. He was literally the prime minister of the country, literally running things. Yeah, literally running things. And there was a new pharaoh that came in. Some people say that this new pharaoh was actually an Assyrian. Okay, an Assyrian. Let me quickly share my screen. Assyrian pharaoh. And they get this basically, I think it was Isaiah 53. Let me just make sure. Assyrian pharaoh Moses. Let me try that. Early Exodus. Okay, so cool. So basically, let's see. Pharaoh of Exodus. Go back up. So yeah, difficulty, new king, etc. Yeah, so Isaiah 52. So this is here, assuming the traditional date of the Exodus, this new king most likely was the Hyksos ruler. The Hyksos were a blend of Semitic people from the northern part of the Mesopotamian and took over the Egyptian throne from 1720 to 1570 BC. Okay, as foreigners, they would have no knowledge of Joseph. This possibly is supported by Isaiah 52:4, which refers to the Pharaoh that oppressed the Israelites as being an Assyrian. Okay, so it says here from the New International Translation, maybe, of Isaiah 52:4, for this is what the sovereign Lord says: in the beginning, my people went to live temporarily in Egypt. Assyria oppressed them for no good reason. Okay, so based upon this, the Pharaoh during the time of Moses is said to actually, or could have, or before or after that time period, could have been Assyrian people who were the ones who actually doing certain things to the Egyptians or to the people at the time. So in that being said, where was I going with that? Completely losing my train of thought, like it's late. So in that being said, that the story to do with the book of the celestial cow is talking about an uprising of different people who were the children of the Apep, the children of the evil. Usually when we're talking about the children of the revolts and Apep, usually we're talking about the people of the nine bows in terms of like physically. If we're going to take the story from mythology to physicality, usually the aliens or those people who are outside of the Kemetic empire, who actually are living not by Ma'at but living by Isfet, and we're trying to actually come in and conquer potentially Egypt. And then the Eye of Ra could quite possibly be on a physical level, could have been the army of Ra, those people. For example, we as Kemetics, we do a prayer every single day. For those of us who actually do practice like that, talking about we want to we want to bind the arms. We want to bind the arms. We want to Ra will cause them to not have any more legs. We would want their heads to never rise up again. And afterwards we'll dash them into the fire and so forth. So it's usually talking about these people, the people of Apep, the outsiders who want to come in and do things in the aesthetic way. It means in the evil way, or in the wrong way, or in the unjust way, or the fallacious way. And it's our duty as being the Shemsu. The Shemsu, when you see the symbol of Shemsu, okay, we see on the boat of Ra at times. Let me do this actually. Let me do this. I just realized, our culture or philosophy system is very much so pictorial. So it's easier just to quickly show you. Bo'ofra. Google scholarship, baby. Nah. So yeah, but overall, we usually have on it the symbol of the Shemsu. There it is. So yeah, we usually have the symbol of the Shemsu right here. Okay, so the Shemsu symbol is literally how can I put it? This right here is a symbol of the walking stick. Okay, your rod, basically your staff, and in your staff there is literally a package right here, tied up. Usually it's an offering. Okay, it's a gift. So anytime that you're walking anywhere, you're going to somebody's house or anywhere else, like I know some of my sisters out there, yeah, and other individuals, yeah, really always carry gifts to people. But it's a Kemetic principle. Anytime you go to see somebody, you should really gift them with something. It doesn't always have to be physical. It could just be a present. It could be a voice offering and so forth. But we also carry something which is right here. It's actually a knife, or a cutlass. So with that, our cutlass, we should be on our prayers, we want to destroy that which is evil. And this is metaphorical. And when we have our own ruling state and people try to take over, we literally want to take that same knife that you see here, okay, and we want to chop off the necks of the serpents, okay. We just chop off their blood seed. Let me just make sure I see that again. Let me see. Chop off their blood seed. Yeah. Them lying sinful snakes. Them. All right. Cool. Enough being said. So back to it. I completely lost my train of thought. You know.
Kalam.
Oh no.
Kalam.
Yeah. Go to my brother.
Talking about a Caucasoid people. He was fighting.
Sorry.
We're essentially talking about a Caucasoid people. They were fighting.
No comment.
Essentially.
No comment.
But they were Hyksos, right?
No comment. No comment. Let me quickly see. What else? Somebody asked that question. So you asked that question, right? Let me see what else the other questions was. Titan TV, if you do understand that these so-called Egyptian symbols were around before the Egyptians became a civilization, depending on the symbols that I was showing you, I showed you the Ankh. I'm not familiar with the Ankh being a symbol that was present before the Egyptian civilization. In that respect, unless we're talking about the proto-dynastic civilizations or proto-dynastic cultures, then these symbols could have possibly existed, yes, in the lands of the empire or the landmass of what we consider to be ancient Kem. What else? You're talking about, so what other symbols did I show you? I showed you the Nesu symbol, the suit symbol of the reed, etc., of royalty. Nope, I don't believe so. The solar disc symbol, not that I can imagine. So no, I don't know about that. Of course, there is certain symbols that was around during the Sumerian and the Kemetic time, because these people were technically speaking of the same people. Okay, same people. What do I mean by that? They're all the children of Ham. Okay, so when you're thinking as an Israelite, you're thinking of Kemet as being Misraim, the landmass of what you think Egypt, Lower Egypt is. But no, remember, Ham is where we get the word Ham or Kemet from. Had 4 sons, right? He had Canaan. So that region of Canaan, i.e. the Transjordan region, was part of the Kemetic Empire. Then you have Misraim, which is another son, which is Egypt as we have it today. Okay, yeah, Egypt is how we have it today. Yeah, Egypt is how we have it today is another one. Then we have Kush, a little bit lower down, and then we have Put. Some people put Put as Libya, or some people put Put as being Punt, i.e. A little bit lower down into Somalia, etc. And we see that Kush went all the way over into Iraq as well back in the day. Okay, so these are the same people from the same Kemetic stock, if you're looking at it from a biblical perspective. So no, you're looking at the same people, my brother, if that's where you're trying to go with it. Let me quickly see. Whatever. Let's see. I think that's it. Is that it? Okay. Shouts to 1-1, man. My brother's always, shouts to you. Yeah, you support. You put your money where your mouth is, man. Love for you, my brother. Love. Trust me. I heard that. Times TV. Let's see. Harry Singh, do you go to the forest in search of the divine? Oh, sorry. Why do you go to the forest in search of the divine? God lives in all and abides with you too, as fragrance dwells in a flower. Shri Guru Teg Bahodor, feeling the info, Kalam. Keep it coming. Jeez, trust me, my brother. Trust me. Let's see. Name of the prayer, please. Wonderful show, brother. All right, Derek Jones. The name of the prayer is, I believe it's called the hymn to Atum. No, the hymn to. This is bad of me. I should know this from the top of my head. Let me get to you. Book of the Dead, introductory hymn to the sun god Ra. And it says here, worship Ra when he rises in the eastern horizon by the sky. This is literally, if you ever cop a Book of the Dead, let me just quickly do this for you. If you ever cop a Book of the Dead, right here, Book of the Dead is literally the very first prayer, the very first hymn, right here. As soon as you open up, it's right there. Let's just quickly make sure. Let me share my screen once more. I need to make sure I answer or get all your questions or comments read out. Remember, if you got a question, Titans TV. I think that's it. Where's Rob, aka Speaker's Corner at aka Gin Tonic Show? He's around, he's around. Okay, Yasher Yaho Yao Yasharala. Shalom Achi. Shalom, my brother. I love that. Brothers donated as well. So shout outs to my brothers who keep donating, man. You're showing me the love, man. I love you guys. What's the book he's reading out? Hopefully I've given you everything. The book that I was reading out,
bro, I think it's
Kalam.
Kalam, I think it's you, man. The donating, because it's you, bro. You give so much. And you know what? I want people to know, if you're not listening, Kalam has a pretty huge moral compass. So if you have a question, feel free to ask him. I'm sure he'll answer truthfully.
Yeah. And Injin Singh actually asked the question, is there going to be an after show? And the answer to that is, yeah, there's going to be an after show. We're literally going to do an after show right about now. Is anybody else have got any announcements to make? Please let me know, or just say it out loud. And yeah, we're good to go. Okay, nobody's got anything to say. All right, that's what I'm going to do. Family, because we're ending the show right now, I'm actually going to send you guys, I'm going to send you guys the link for the show, okay? I'm going to send you guys the link for the show right about now, because we're going to end the show. All right, let's go. So, Yashau, Libyan now. Come on, man. Come on, my brother. I've sent the link out. So hopefully as soon as we go off air, you should be able to hit that link and come in live with us. All right, family, it's been an awesome show. And I'm going to let my brother Kyrie just gang it out and gang.
Gang. Kalam, man.
And one last time, the holy name of God is what?
I am that I am. Now come and spread your seed to the land, your fruit to the land, your love to the land. Woo!
Gang. I love that. So family, we're signing out right now. I'll catch you guys on the other side. We're going to stay on here a little bit longer so we can answer any of your questions or whatever else you have to say. Peace, family. Come and join us. The link has been shared. Love. Scholar.